What up, everybody? You're now tuned into the true definition of a sports fanatic. I'm your host, Brandon Lampley, back today with another live stream. And man, oh man, I'm very glad that they won Sunday. Now, I was very close. I predicted 13-10 because I said the offense will put up about 13 points. And they end up putting 16. They end up scoring 16 points. Falcons scored 7 points. So I was somewhat close. I think you predicted 17-10. I think you did something like that, 17-10. So you was closer. So, I mean, overall, a win is a win, and you needed a win and it sounds so funny to say, but at 2-2, they might as well have been 0-3 going into Sunday, because that's what it kind of felt like. I mean, because of the expectations and the falling short tremendously, getting a win was important. Now, offense still didn't look the way we wanted them to look. They did look better, though. I will say they looked better. And Trevor Lawrence looked decisive. He looked fast. He looked like he made great decisions. That offensive line is still a problem. It's still an issue. Still an issue. I mean, Cam Robinson is back. We'll see how that plays out. But I don't know. Buffalo, this is short-lived because Buffalo is on the horizon, and they just put the smack down on Miami. But I don't want to think about that right now. I got my co-host with me, Mr. Reed. How you doing today, sir?
Feeling good. Yeah, we ain't going to talk about Buffalo yet. But you know what, man? I say always, I think October might be the best months of sports. You got NBA starting, you got baseball playoffs, and you done reached the quarter mark in the NFL. There's a lot going on in October, man. So happy to be in October. Yeah. And now we got to live up to juicy fruit.
Yeah. Got to live up to it. Timeless.
Live up to juicy fruit, man. Juicy fruit is a classic.
Yeah,
song about 40 years old, and it still can sound good. I tell you, the hands of time.
And that's the Biggie Smalls version of the him using that beat for his song Juicy.
Oh yeah,
you know. So that's timeless right there. Timeless, but once again, the defense is playing very well. Josh Allen, another monster day. Now they dismissed him the first game. A lot of people did, like, oh well, he ran Anthony Richardson out of bounds and they just counted it as a sack or whatever. Hey, it is what it is. A sack is a sack. It's on the stat sheet and it affected the play. But he was a wrecking ball Sunday. He played very well. The DBs played well. But in all honesty, though, after watching them for a while, the Falcons, Darius Williams, even Trey Herndon, Tyson Campbell, even Cisco, you name them, they were sitting on every route. Then you could tell they were not afraid of anything deep. Afraid of nothing deep. And they should have had about 4 interceptions. I think 3 or 4. I know I've seen them drop at least one. If I'm not mistaken, I think they dropped 2, had chances at 2 more interceptions. They caught 2, I think they dropped 2. And that game should have been a lot worse than it was. They should have blew the Falcons all the way out. But it's the Jaguars. It's a working process at this point. But I'll take it. But Trevor Lawrence, as soon as the ball is snapped, it seems like he is he got to move. He got to go. And I think he understands that now. And it's affecting plays because he had a chance for a touchdown, I think, on their last field goal. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was Kirk. Kirk was, wide open. It doesn't look like anybody was going to be within 15 to 20 yards of him for a touchdown. And he had to get up out of the pocket because Calais Campbell and those dudes, and Bud Dupree. When they said Bud Dupree name, I said, Bud Dupree still in the league? I said, I forgot Bud Dupree was in the league, man. Bud Dupree. I was like, where? Jacksonville. When Bud Dupree was available, where were y'all? Like, having Bud Dupree have the game he had and Calais them have the game they had, it just makes me angry because y'all could have got one of those veteran pass rushers, man. Bud Dupree was out there balling it was early his Steeler days, man.
Well, let's go back, man. Some of the news of the last week. You're talking about Calais Campbell. The story was, I think it came out Thursday of last week that they had, we all know that they had conversations with Calais Campbell, rejoining. But how do you tell the man that he got no shot at all of playing any role other than backup? Probably who knows, 10 snaps a game. Wow. Trent Baalke. That's what supposedly that he told that he would not have any kind of role with this young roster. And I don't foresee. I think Calais is probably too many snaps with the Falcons, but just to say that before you even extend a deal to tell him that, that's a lack of respect. And that's the way we do business, man. We got to do a little better than that because obviously they overestimated the defensive line, but we got to have Josh Allen game like that all the time because he did play great, but and we're not going to harp on all that what happened in the off season, but we don't want it to come back, when they get in the meat of this schedule either. But man, I always say when you do bad business off season, it always comes back to bite you. The word will always get out. You do not want to be on national television and have a guy who, let's say in hindsight, you have, say, Calais Campbell say, I wanted to go to Jacksonville, but they told me that, the only role that I could guarantee myself was just, no status, just backup status. We're not going to give any shot. And I'm always a believer, man, no matter what. I really feel that even though sports has politics in it, it shouldn't be a place for politics in sports, man. I always, no matter what the situation is, everybody should have the opportunity to compete for a job, unless you Trevor Lawrence, of course.
But, at the very least.
Yeah, and now looking at the game, it's always good to win, but it's just like I'm just picking back on what you're saying. They literally right now, I think for Trevor to make completions, he's got to move out of the pocket. He moving pocket. He doesn't have a moving pocket. I don't think he's going to have much success. And then I'll tell you what, as this schedule moves along with the Buffalo game, moving pocket is okay, but man, you're gonna have defensive team. Buffalo is a great defense. He may see pressure interior, he may see pressure on the edge. There's only so much room you can run. So I feel they got a problem. It's being masked in this game because I wasn't but a particularly good football team. I don't know what they're trying to do, man, but when you get receivers that they have and you don't even attempt to get the ball in their hands, and they got a great running back in Robinson, but good Lord. I don't understand it. I mean, he's a young quarterback. You don't look like he's getting great coaching. Because if you really look back on that game and see those picks, I mean, he's wide. He gave, and they just back, as you said, and just let him. I say it's all. I even wrote this game, man.
Yeah. Hey,
And then I think report that touchdown ran, but you got from the offense. I mean, I would think Cam come back. But what are they doing? Are they gonna move Walker to start? You know, they obviously just.
oh man, his internet went out. I'm sure it did because I didn't know if y'all could hear him. Hey, let me know if you could understand what he was saying because he was very, very choppy, and I couldn't even make out a good bit of what he was saying because I guess his internet and his signal where he's at. But I did hear him talking about Calais, and I did see the article with Calais Campbell and how Calais talked about they basically told him like he felt like Balky didn't want him be a part of the team. Okay, there he goes. He coming back. And yeah, you should at least give them an opportunity to compete because you basically telling Calais like, yeah, you come and you can show out, but we only giving you this. No, if Calais is better than Josh Allen or Trayvon, Calais should be starting. Like I'm not understanding.
You know
It's still. I know I can't see you, and I know it's still choppy. It's still rich. Hold on. Let me see. Okay, now I can see you. All right, that's better. Yeah, that's better. Now I know you was mentioning Calais, and yeah, I'm looking at this article now. It says he said a reunion with Jaguars was briefly possible. One of his D-line coaches in Arizona is now the D-line coach in Jacksonville. Brinson Buckner told Campbell he was exactly what the Jags needed. What a storybook opportunity this was to face those 17 demons head on, to return to his 3rd and 18 playoff moment and stay on the field. Yet Campbell didn't get the sense that GM Trent Baalke wanted him. He appreciated Baalke's honesty. The last thing any NFL player wants is a bait and switch. But the GM told Campbell straight up that he'd play a secondary role on this young D-line, serve as more of a vocal leader. He said Campbell 38 hasn't taken on much of a secondary role in this time with the Falcons through 3 games. He's been on the field for 64% of the team's defensive snaps, as well as 29% of the team's special team snaps. While that's not quite the 78%, 32% he averaged respectively over the 3 seasons in Jacksonville, it's also not far off. So he's playing more than I thought he was going to play.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he hasn't been ineffective in starting role. He's recorded 7 tackles, 2 quarterback hits, and 3 hurries, and a 71.4 grade on Pro Football Focus. And I'm just go with the eye test. I mean, Calais looked good Sunday. I mean, the issue is over time and him wearing down because he's a very large man. But he looked good Sunday, and in the limited role, I think he would have been excellent. And I'm not with that. Oh, the young D line this, young D line that. I get it. You don't want to squash, especially Trayvon's confidence at this point or whatever. But you in the business of winning games, and Trayvon's confidence comes second to us getting W's. I mean, it's just what it is. So if Calais ends up being better, if Calais is a better option to start off, then Calais should be out there, and Trayvon should be backing him up, or even Josh Allen backing him up. It's just what it is. So I don't get that, man. Just sign the guys and let them compete.
See, that's one of the things, man. One of the things I got a concern. I mean, I know we early, they 2-2. You look back on some of the changes and the additions that he added on the roster. There's a lot of his moves, and I'm speaking of Trent Baalke. I mean, a lot of them has been good. But, going forward, man, do you really want to have where he doesn't? I don't think it has enough checks and balances. I mean, I think,
yeah,
I remember back right before and after they hired Peterson, they was talking about having, the director of football operations or some guy that would be over him to oversee the department, pretty much let him do. But, when it comes personnel decisions that they got, okay, I suggest this, and then somebody can overrule them. But man, you can't. I mean, you don't want to be overthinking, and you don't want to not evaluate players for their worthiness. It's, and not to say that how big of an impact Calais would have been on this team. I mean, we don't know, but I say this from what I know from when he was here. I mean, he would have only been beneficial for Walker. He would have been beneficial for Josh Allen, and I think he could have served the role a lot better than Chason as a third down guy to come in and put some pressure on the quarterback. And he can play inside and outside. He probably would even had a bigger role just playing inside. But those are the things you think about, man. I mean, right now we're in a young football season, and hindsight 2020 is hindsight 2020. When we start having conversations, did this team live up to those expectations? Did they achieve the things that they supposed they had achieved? And then we in December and they didn't do it, then these are the conversations that are going to come up because they've been coming up. These I mean, you win games in the off season also. You just don't win them in September, October, November, and December. You win games based on the decisions that you make. And man, I know what the guy could have brought to the table, and I know what we see so far. But you can't. I'm not going to taint. I thought the defense played a great game yesterday against a bad team. I mean, not to belittle that victory, but I have no clue what is the focus of the Falcons. And I know they're not part of our show tonight, but I don't understand their philosophy. I don't understand what are they trying to do. I mean, they got two great breakthrough. I mean, got two big play receivers, and they don't get the ball enough.
Yeah, Pitts was out there getting cardio.
Yeah. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, do you want to win or you not want to win? This is a league where you pass the football. And like I said, you got one of the best running backs in the league. But, man, there ain't no team in this league that don't throw the ball vertically downfield. And I hope that don't be our team because they are a hard team to watch, man.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, Bijan to watch. Yeah, Bijan is good. I mean, honestly, I watched a bit of his highlights. I didn't watch him much at Texas. Watched him a little bit, but I watched a bit of his highlights the first couple of games. I was like, man, Bijan looks good. Look like he get on the edge. It's good night. And seeing him up close, it was scary because if anybody was out of place, he made them pay. He made them pay. And then even when they were in place to make plays, he made the first man miss every time. Almost every time he made the first man miss. So Bijan, could you imagine Bijan is somewhere like Kansas City? Pacheco is decent. You know, they were comparing Pacheco last night to Marshawn Lynch. And I was like, that's a bit rich. Let's go ahead and bring that down a little bit. You comparing him to one of the greatest they ever played the game. Let's calm that down. But imagine a guy like Bijan with the Chiefs. That's man, it'd be unfair.
Shoot, I was thinking about that yesterday. Pitts with another team.
Yeah. Look, he's talking about they say Pitt Toy Story character is still in the box on the shelf. That was what. Hey, did you watch any of that?
Nah, but I saw a lot of highlights from it. They were posting all that stuff on there. They were posting the touchdowns on Twitter.
Yeah. It looked like Madden on the Wii. Anybody who played Madden on the Wii with the controllers, it looked like that to me. I mean, it wasn't bad. I liked the setup, you know, and it was like Toy Story. So it was pretty good. And then they explained to the kids what things were, you know, if it's a penalty, they explain the penalty, they explain downs, they explain, you know, all kind of stuff. So, and, you know, this is just a way to get the younger crowd involved and, you know, get them interested in the game, you know,
smart
and for this to be their first time doing it, I think it was a success. I think they can build off of this going forward.
And, you know, they explain like how did they, because they were in sequence with the game. So they were explaining. So what is got here? They were explaining that they got these devices in the player helmets that basically it shows their movements, and that's how they do it. Because it was in sync with the game.
Yeah. Let's see. Ness say, I want to know why are they not shopping for a pass rusher since we have money sitting and not being used. They also does not carry over into next season. Balky is sitting on our potential to have a pretty decent defense. Yeah, but it makes sense though, because now I see why Clowney left also. He came here and left also because Clowney looked good. The couple of times I've watched Baltimore, Clowney looks good. So I understand now why pass rushers came here and they left without a contract. Because if what Calais said is true, he said that to Clowney as well. And I know Clowney was like, man, what? Man, I'm better than Trayvon Walker at this point right now, man. Nah, dog. I mean, at least we gonna split reps, something. But no, you're talking about me playing 10 snaps a game and being, hey guys, come on, yeah, let's go. All right, now when you go out there, you get them under the shoulder here. Nah, man, dudes want to play.
And I say this on every show. I guess I have to say it until he get better. But man, I did watch Hutchinson the other night, and I watched Trayvon. I say this to just for the football view eyes, Hutchinson is more active. He spins, he uses hands, he gets around the block. A couple of times he looked even a little quicker than Trayvon. Yeah. He's got to work, man. Not you know, hey man, you can have all the talent in the world. You can have all the potential in the world. But if you don't hone your craft and go in the toolbox and come up with something, I think I want to say it's more coaching than it might be him. But man, he's got to use his hands. Hey, Josh had a great game. I mean, ain't no doubt about it. Josh got 6 sacks. Javon Walker got 2. And they got 9 overall. So, he's got to get more production. You got to find ways to get to the quarterback. And you can find them through angles, too. You don't always got to overpower the guy in front of you. But he's got to do more. He's got to have a big game against this Buffalo team. But, man, he's got to be more active. He's not active enough to fuck. Just my opinion. What do I know? But he's got to go at aim. He got to train moves. Real under. He got to use his hands. He's got to. I'm going to say this opinion. So I'm going to be on the soapbox here. I do not like the Jaguars spending 2 weeks in London. Not that the fact that this, the NFL probably mandated this and all that. I really feel the owner raised his hands, say, "Oh yeah, we'll do it for 2 weeks." Put his hands up in the air and raise them to say that we want to be here for 2 weeks. And then he went on 47 on that interview during the game, before the game, and said that he's looking possibly in the future to doing this more often. And I'm saying, man, is this guy really thinking that you're going to put a $2 billion stadium or whatever the cost of that stadium? Why would they need to go play 2 games in London? And that's not good. That's the only thing I have a problem with the Jaguars, man. You can't – sometimes you got to bite your words. Sometimes you got to think about your fan base and think about – you got to think about what you're saying. And I know, you're the owner. This is your team. You do whatever you please and what you want. But bottom line is you want a stadium. And it don't make any sense for the Jaguars if you got additional revenues coming in from the stadium. And I'm almost to the point to almost say, if that stadium get approved, why does Jacksonville have to play in London every year? Is it a personal thing for the owner? Where they pick a straw and, hey, Tampa Bay might get picked this season, and 4 years later they may get picked again. But I was thinking about this Sunday. So why does Jacksonville? When you talking about, I think the stadium gonna get built. I hope it does. I think it will. So why does Jacksonville always have to be plays in London?
Money.
Stadium.
Money.
Yeah, but hey,
money.
Yeah, you get additional money, but hey, they don't make their money off ticket revenue. They make it off television revenue. So what difference would it make? Yeah. It just seems like, man, he's just overexposing. You better worry about the team you're in, because I don't see the league in reality having a full-fledged football team in you for at least 15 years from now, or 10 to 15 years.
Yeah,
I don't see
the only way, and that we hearing that now. Oh, the Jags moving to London. They moving to London. Come on, man, you're a rookie at this. I've been hearing they moving to L.A. L.A. was the original. Jags moving to L.A. Jags moving to L.A.
Yeah.
That was the original. And then it went from there. But them moving to London, I mean, the logistics aren't. You can't do it logistically right now, because if the NFL is looking to play more games overseas, period. Like the NFL is looking to push this, and it sounds like Khan is like right in that room, like, all right, yeah. He got his hand up, like, yeah, I'll be at the forefront of this. I'll do this. We'll push this forward with you as well, because money, opportunity, incentive, or whatever. If this wasn't benefiting him personally, and I guess the Jaguars as far as a franchise is concerned, then he wouldn't be doing it. But you're not going to be able to do this with just putting one team. So, like you say, the next 15 years, if they're putting teams overseas, you're going to have to put multiple teams overseas. It can't just be one.
But I think he's got to. I mean, it's going to become a point. Say the stadium get built, I think the franchise got to have a change of philosophy, man. I think they got to, I understand without question that when they play that one game over there, that the one home game in London, it grosses, the gross is bigger than any other game in Jacksonville. But at some point, when you get the stadium deal approved, you're going to have backlash from fans in Jacksonville, and they're going to say, like, We understand the focus of going over there, in the past for the revenue situation but literally, I think Shad is marketing his franchise for have like a secondary fan base in London, and I don't foresee when we build that stadium. I'm not talking about him moving the team. That's not going to happen. Just like you said, but I feel that whether we build a new stadium or not, he's still going to have his team play in London at least once. You take away one home game, and I don't know if the NFL is always going to have what they did this year, where they play one road game. I mean, this game coming up Sunday technically is a road, but I can go back to 2019 when before COVID that they had signed the agreement to play two home games, and the only reason why it didn't happen was because of COVID. And he owns the soccer team there, but I mean, I think I got to get this a clear understanding of what London means, what it means for us in Jacksonville, and it might be time for people to say enough is enough. I don't agree with it. I don't think they should be in even though they would be in Buffalo, instead of London. Probably for most fans that don't make a difference, but I see more in that game than just playing a second week in London. I think they having their players go. I think today on their website, I believe they had all their players took tours of the city. You got all type. I know they did their radio show from a bar or something in London. And I've been in this game long enough, man. I know what it means to just be there, and I also know what it means to market yourself for the long term. And that seems to me like they're selling jackets about 10 years in London, and he might have a problem with the league also. I don't think the league want a monopoly in London. I don't. I think as long as they play international games, they always. I mean, London has two stadiums, and they always. I feel they're going to have NFL games. Depends on if the world is. Nothing is conflicts or anything going on, but. Yeah. I think the league, as you said, I think right now they're looking to see if they could play games in Spain. Yep. Obviously, I think they looked at Mexico City. I don't know if they play a game in Mexico City this year. I know they did. So they're going to expand. Yeah, they're going to expand this game globally. And for some reason, Shad feels like, man, he's at the top of the forefront, man. Like he owns that London market, and I don't know. I don't think it's good for us. And I definitely don't agree. If you build a new stadium, I feel we paid the right to have 8 home games. I think we paid the right to be just like any other team in the NFL with 8 home games. Now, if they play a game in London, maybe a road game, but why should we have, once we build that stadium, I'm just saying, once we build a stadium, why do we have to be different from any other fan base in the NFL with one less home game? Don't make sense.
Yeah, every year. Yeah, every year. That's every what year. It's been. It's been every year. Yep. Not every other year, not every 4 years. It's been every single year. So yeah, it's something to look out for, because I hadn't even thought about that until you mentioned it, and what you're saying now. It seems, and one thing about it, they're very strategic. He's a very strategic man. The NFL, they're very strategic. So they're not doing this for nothing. And I said that, and that's part of the game. because, like you said, the they get that money out TV revenue. So as far as the London views, it doesn't really matter like that. But the other benefit of what you just said, you're growing yourself in that market. You getting yourself accustomed in that market. You spreading yourself in that market. Why are you so aggressive in that market? I wonder. So yeah,
But you gotta look at it for the fans here. You asking us to increase taxes, help fund the stadium. You're gonna be here for the long term once the lease run out. Then I think that we deserve every right that every other fan with 8 home games. Yeah, ain't no excuses no more. We can't get the revenue. Well, here's your revenue. You can earn more money with that stadium once they put all the extremities and all that stuff in there. You ain't got no more complaints about the sun that we can't draw a crowd because of the heat. So sometimes in sports, man, you have to look down the line. You have to see what these guys, they'll laugh and say, no, that ain't our plan. And then 3 years from that, and the complete opposite. It happens. It's business. And I just watch even on their website. It's like, it's not a game. It's a marketing event. Not just in London, and the team is working out at the practice site that they have, and or at the team hotel. They literally have their people. And in the summer months, I know that a couple of those players went to London for some pubs. So I don't know. I just think we deserve, as fans of Jacksonville, to know what the long-term thing is once that stadium is built. And there should be some hell raised that I don't think they need to be playing. Nothing wrong. Teams don't really fiction that when that's come out, hey, the Buffalo Bills gonna play a road game in London. That's acceptable. But every year when we're paying for a stadium that we're going to pay for, and every year with no explanation that and then he said on that show on the pregame that he forecasts continuing in the future. Well, I got there's no way to play 2 games in London, big stadium in Jacksonville. No way.
Yeah, no way. So man, yeah, well, it is what it is. One of the things I thought about and highlight from Sunday's game is, as you mentioned it earlier, you don't know, I don't know what the Falcons are doing, like what the plan is that's on the field and for the long term of the future and what they're building. Because okay, I'm a running back guy. I love running backs. Always love running backs. I always love to watch running backs play. That's some of my favorite players of all time were running backs. Everybody loves running backs. All kids wanted to play running backs. I know my brother's little league coach, the way he used to recruit linemen, he's like, I go to the buffets, I go to Golden Corral, go to the buffet and look for fat boys at the buffet and promise them they'll be able to play some running back. That's how he would get them to come to his team. So everybody loves a running back. But looking at Bijan Robinson, and he's an excellent talent, no issue with him. Why did the Falcons take him so early? I'm confused, because you could use that pick on something else. Yes, Bijan had almost 140 yards of total offense. He was electric. He made plays. He was good, but he had minimal impact on the game. And that's just me personally. Mm-hmm. Like if you look at totally, because he had 100 yards rushing, had I think like 30 something yards receiving, almost 140 total yards, and that was, like it had minimal impact on the game. So to take a running back that high with that type of draft capital, where you could have got linemen, you could have got another receiver. You could have got something else that could have really impacted the team. And Bijan is good. Don't get me wrong. This is not a knock on Bijan Robinson at all. I'll take Bijan right now. Just about any team who need running back needy right now, you'll take Bijan Robinson. But I wouldn't have took him as high as they took him, man. And that is a classic example of him Sunday is why the running back position is seemingly dying before our eyes.
Yeah. Well, you can't score quick with it, they are a typical team that's playing in an outdated system. I'm looking at their stats. Kyle Pitts only had 4 targets. He caught 2 passes for 21 yards. Come on, man. How are you going to win a football game and a first-round pick like 2 years ago can't even get the ball in his hand?
London. Had 1,000 yards his rookie year.
Yeah, London, 3 catches for 28 yards. How can they win? And they got a bad offensive line with a young quarterback that they don't trust. Yeah. They should have went out and got a veteran or bring back the one that they had. Yeah, that's a bad product there, man. It's hard to go pay money to go see that offense. They're gonna be terrible the whole year. I'm wondering how in the world did they get two wins this year?
Yeah, I'm wondering too. After watching them Sunday, I'm wondering because I will tell you this: if Mariota was the quarterback Sunday, Jacksonville might have been in trouble.
Yeah, you're right.
They might have been in some trouble, man. Because I think Mariota could have made just enough plays to make it interesting the way it would have been a game in the fourth. And then they could have went either you get into the fourth and it's a game, it can go either way. And Mariota could have did that because he could have made enough plays with his arm and with his leg. He did it too many times to us already. So I'm very glad for Desmond Ridder.
Yeah, well, Desmond got a lot of work, man. I don't even think Desmond got the trust of the coaching staff, man. I think that's part of the problem. They will not allow him just unleash himself. Just get in a shotgun and start firing downfield. I don't I don't know. I know we ain't gonna talk the whole show about the Falcons, but good Lord, they are a bad football team. I watched that Tampa Bay Saints game. Man, Tampa Bay and they're not the best team, but they ain't gonna have a problem with the Falcons. I don't know about the Saints, but I know the Falcons won't. The Bucks won't.
Yeah. Speaking of which, that's what we about to go into the other games and talk a little bit about those games. I'm just go down the list. But before we do that, you already know what it is. Prediction for Sunday.
Well, man. Well, let me go back. I thought the Dolphins, but didn't they score 70 points a week before?
Yeah, they did.
Man, I love the Jags. I'm always gonna be Jags, always. But man, I just don't think our offense is not up to gear right now. Yeah, and those guys are playing great defensively. They're playing great. You can shut down their offense, and ours I just don't know if the Jags the offense right now is in a groove. I think it's still finding itself. I think that there have been some, you look back at Kansas City. I think we got to learn how to utilize Ridley without. It's almost like I feel right now offensively, we like a basketball team and we got LeBron, and the only thing we looking down the court is to pass him the ball. We're not looking at the other players. We're just looking to try to force it to one guy. And I think that, they did a much better job of distributing the football around against Atlanta. But, man, we got to worry a whole lot more things about, this team is completely the opposite of the Falcons. The Bills got a they got a good defensive front. They got attacking, and they can score. And they got I'm concerned about the wide receiver there who outran the whole Miami Dolphins secondary yesterday. Diggs.
That was pathetic. That was pathetic, man.
Yeah, one juke
Like,
move
but
and outran everybody.
who? Yeah, Vahu or Kahu or whatever his name is for the Dolphins. I would have put him on the bench. I'm like, you ain't got it this game. Maybe you will try you out next week, but you ain't got it. I mean, they abused him. Yeah, they abused him. Xavier Howard, he said he was basically campaigning to travel with Diggs. I wouldn't have campaigned no more. I would have just lined up wherever Diggs was and dared the coaches to stop me because I'm like, dude, he's killing us. What you want me to do? You want me to just stand by and watch him cook him constantly? What, he won 160 and 3 touchdowns? I mean, that's good enough for you? Was that enough? Were you satisfied with that? Like, oh man. Now they did lose Tre'Davious White, so now who's going to cover Ridley now? I wonder. So I think Ridley might have some opportunities because Tre'Davious White is one of the better corners in the league, and now they'll be without him.
He's out. I don't know, man. My prediction is I like the Jags. I don't like them in this game. I don't like the fact that I think being in London that second week is going to be complete. I don't think they get they're not at an advantage being still there in London for whatever reason. I just don't think that's an advantage. And I just think we got to do a little more offensively, man. I think we still in a little, we're in a little offensive slump right now. I'm trying to figure things out with a bad offensive line. Where can he got to get the ball out quick? Do we do underneath routes? There's a lot of things going on offensively, and I just don't know if you can have those trials and tribulations when you playing a Buffalo team. Because I think Buffalo gonna come out. They remember what happened 2 years ago. I don't think that's gonna be the type of game that we see Sunday. I think they're gonna be high spirited and high volume, and they're gonna try to get the ball in the end zone. So long story short, I think our Jags gonna take it on the chin. I think we're gonna lose. I think Buffalo gonna probably put up about 36, and we're gonna put up about 17. So it's gonna be like 30, 35, 17.
Man, that's crazy because the first score, and I kid you not, I promise you, the first score that popped in my head when I was thinking about how much it's going to be, my first prediction in my head was 34-20. So I don't know how I came up with 34, but 34-20 was the first thing popped in my head, and you just said 36-17. Like, yeah, I mean that's kind of how I'm feeling too. But now the more I think about it, I say, you know what? I don't foresee, even with them struggling the way they are, I don't foresee them really getting the doors blown off of them anymore. I don't like them. What happened with the Texans? It happened, and I don't think that they'll have another game like that per se, unless we just dealing with injury or something like that. Just like the Lions game last year, where they got absolutely destroyed.
We ain't gonna see.
I don't think that. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna see that anymore. So my prediction, though, for Sunday, after really thinking about it a little more, I'm gonna go 27-20. I think it's gonna be a possession game, and they're just not gonna make enough plays down the stretch to win the game. And whether that's whether they can't protect Trevor, there's a costly turnover because of the lack of protection, or defensively, Diggs get loose, Dawson gets loose, Knox gets loose, James Cooks get loose, somebody get loose, or even Josh Allen himself. He's a load to bring down. He get loose, score a touchdown late or something like that. So I can see that. So 27-20 Bills.
Man, it's hard to play them, man. I don't know if you can sit back in the zone and play them, and then you is it like
him running around?
You got to throw your coin up and see can you play them and you get isolated. I mean, I think Campbell can play good in a one-on-one matchup if he have it, but I don't know, man. They got a lot of stuff going on. They rolling right now. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
But I like the Jags defense effort.
Yeah, that's why I say 27. I don't see Buffalo throwing up almost 40 points on the Jags defense. The only way it balloons to over 30 is Bills get a defensive score.
Yeah. So who's out? So Devin Lloyd is out.
Yeah,
Who
it's
else out on the defense? Thumb out. He's the only one on defense.
I think so. I think he's the only one because all the DBs are playing. We did see Dewey in there a little bit.
Yeah,
all
he
the
was.
DBs are playing.
But that was a run. So he
yeah. Linebackers are playing except for Lloyd and Devon Hamilton is the only D lineman I think is missing time right now. So they still relatively healthy. So we shall see how it goes. But we're gonna put a pin in it and wrap it up right there. We're gonna move on, talk a little bit about this past week. And the game I start with is Sunday night. I mean, this whole thing with Taylor Swift, man, is done taking on. It's similar. I don't know if you remember, but it's similar to when Tony Romo was dating Jessica Simpson, and that's all they talked about. Like, I'm like, dude, come on, man. But I get it. The NFL is smart when it comes to things like this, and the networks are smart because you're getting a audience and a crowd that most likely never watched the game, didn't care about the game, didn't care to know the game. But now that Taylor Swift is involved and she's in it, they said like Travis Kelce jersey sales are up 400%. They had 27 million viewers last night for a Sunday night game, and a game in which was Patrick Mahomes against the Chiefs and Zach Wilson in the Jets. So, if it was Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes, then I could kind of see that. But for the game last night, for it to draw 27 million viewers, that's a lot. And I would say part of that is the Taylor Swift effect. So, hey, they have no problem with it. It's just getting annoying now because that's all they're talking about now is this and that and whatnot. So, it is what it is. But watching that
stories,
yeah, and watching that last night, the Jets defense is legit. It is a shame that they lost Aaron Rodgers because they could have won that game last night if they had Rodgers in place in that game. Now I won't poo-poo Zach Wilson because Zach Wilson played a whale of a game. Zach Wilson played better than I've ever seen him play before last night. He looked really good. He put some balls in places that I didn't think he could do on a consistent basis, and he did it over and over and over again. So, but the Jets moving forward, I don't think you're not going to be able to roll. You couldn't roll over them really last year. So I don't think still you're not going to be able to roll over them. It's just Zach has to be better. Like last night was a start though. And then the Chiefs aren't what they were. They're not even what they were last year because it's going to take them some time, especially offensively, because the Chiefs offense is still not what it was and what it potentially is going to be. Travis Kelce still doesn't look like himself. But Patrick Mahomes, man, when it counts, when you absolutely need it, 15 made the plays last night, man. He shows why he's the MVP. Whether it's whether you win, like you say, you can win pretty, but can you win ugly? And he can do it all.
Yep, he does whatever it takes to win. That's the bottom line. If he bounced back, he had what, 2 interceptions?
2. I mean, he was awful in the second, like awful.
Yeah. Still bounced back to find a way to pull it out. And that was, I didn't predict that they'll squeeze by the Jets 23-20, but hey, man, it ain't how you do it. It's how it's a victory is a victory. And he finds a way to get them victories.
Yeah, he does. So, so I watched that. 49ers Cardinals. I watched a bit of that. Cardinals made it a game, and but 49ers pulled away late. And I just now that's one game where it may be similar to the Lions game, depending on what Jacksonville is in the season. Now, if they cooking and they, kind of got on the roll and they get that offense going or whatever, but that 49ers game, I'm not looking forward to that game, man. The 49ers are scary.
I mean, either, man.
It's just, I'm
looking at their stats. Purdy went 20 of 21 for 283.
Yeah.
And I think they might have the best defense in the league, man. Shit. When it comes to just what they have across the board with their starting 11, they may be the best group. They get at you.
Yeah. Yeah, they may be. They may be the best group. Let's see, Cowboys, Patriots. I watched some of that, but man, Jacksonville kid, Roll Tide, my dude. But Mac Jones is his days in New England are numbered, man. It's about to be over for him because he was awful.
They can't win with him, man. That's the bottom line. At a 39 quarterback rating, and you can't. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just not the fit or just the fact that he just went through, they just hadn't been stable when it comes to offensive coordinator. But, man, to me, it looked like he's regressed. Don't look like he's getting better. It look like he's getting worse.
Yeah. It does look like it's getting worse. Yeah. Let's see. Raiders, Chargers. Man, the Chargers almost chargered again. Dude, they were up like 24-10. They were up 24-10 in the fourth. That the game was pretty much over. I was looking in on the score a little bit. I was watching some of the NFL game day live where they showed highlights from all the things, whatever. And they showed us like, it's 24-10. That game pretty much wrapped up. Man, they let the Raiders. Then they got it when it went to them. They got in the red zone. Raiders scored, and they didn't challenge it because it was clear Devontae Adams was in the end zone and scored a touchdown. But it didn't matter because Josh Jacobs came back and he was eventually able to score. But it did take about a minute and 30 seconds off the clock for them to be able to score that touchdown. So I don't know what Josh McDaniels is awful. Like, he's awful. I'm not getting the hype. I've been said that. I'm like, Derek Carr wasn't the problem. It's Josh McDaniels. And it's been Josh McDaniels, and it's going to continue to be Josh McDaniels. As far as the head coach is concerned, he's not it. He's a great offensive mind. But as far as the head coach, no. But Asante Samuel Jr. saved the Chargers because Brandon Staley, the Chargers coach, the Chargers aren't going to realize their potential under Brandon Staley. I don't think it's going to happen.
No. I say this, if the owner come to his senses, I just don't see this guy being the coach there after this year. I'm talking about Staley. I mean, I just think this team gonna break a whole lot of hearts. They might win some regular season games. They probably gonna make the playoffs. But once those playoffs start, I just think they just a heartbreak. They make you throw your beer in the trash in the sink.
Yeah.
I just think this team got a whole lot of good talent and a coaching staff that don't know how to utilize it in the key moments of the game. This guy is not a good situational coach. And back to New England, man. Back to New England right quick, man. I never thought that 38-3. It might be time for Bill. They might have to look for another coach, man.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's fair. That's fair because they were just talking about Nick Saban being done, and all of a sudden now look, 2 great wins in a row. Now everybody's talking about look at Bama rising up the boys. Can they make the college football playoff? Now they right back on Bama bandwagon. I see you out there. I see you out there.
38.
But hey, I was gonna take them to win a few games and they'll be back. Shoot, not even Shannon Sharp was like, he talking about it's very clear to me that it was Brady, more than Belichick and all of this. I'm like, man, come on with all of that. Man. Get on out of here with that,
dude. Lord, but Brandon, I'm telling you, man, they got an offense that stink. They couldn't score against Dallas. Didn't Dallas lose a week ago to the Cardinals?
Yeah. Josh Dobbs was willing and dealing, man. Yeah. And they ran the ball. That was the thing. They was able to run the ball. And I think they dropped 100 and something yards in the first half on Dallas. I think they had 180. I think it might have been 180 in rushing on Dallas in that game in the first half. So but I don't know, man. I don't know. But Bill if anybody figure out, Bill will figure it out. I don't be surprised if Zappy's starting soon.
I hope
Bailey
he
Zappi.
figure out before they play the Buffalo and the Dolphins. The Dolphins might score 80.
Yeah. Yeah, especially because that was in New England when they beat him, I think. So when you go down to Miami, it might be ugly. It might be real ugly when you go down to Miami because they never played well in Miami. Never played well in Miami.
Man, I might start listening to the talk radio in Boston, boy.
we getting to it, Ness. We getting to it. We're gonna go through these NFL games and we're gonna talk about them Gators. You better believe it.
Yeah.
You better believe it. You better believe it. So, all right, Bengals, Titans. All of a sudden, the Titans, the king is not dead. Even though Derrick Henry, it looks like his father time is on his back a little bit because he looked like he's starting to run sometimes, like he got a piano on his back from time to time. I mean, it just is what it is. He's a big back. He's taking a lot of hits, and the feet injuries to his feet has not helped. Like it hasn't helped. So, but I mean, they dominated Cincinnati, man. Dominated. I mean, absolutely dominated. I think Cincinnati had 94 total yards. It was some crazy stat. Like they just didn't have a good day, man. They didn't have a good day.
Man, it's been a couple of days they ain't had a good day. I mean, I think that's the bigger story is what's wrong with the Bengals, man. Burrow, I mean, 165 yards passing.
That was the Browns had the Browns played somebody and beat them like that. They played Cincinnati. Yeah, Cincinnati did have 94 total yards. That was against the Browns. But yeah, I don't know, man. Burrow's not healthy.
Well, that's the problem. Well, if he ain't healthy, then they ain't got a decent backup. Because boy, they're not winning with him. They might as well let them get healthy. They 1-3.
Yeah,
they ain't getting nothing in the rushing. And I mean, he ain't even racking up 100-yard receiving each game. So they got some problems, man. You got Boyd, you got Higgins, and they can't score. It's 3 points. They lost 27-3. Oh, no.
Yeah, and I want to watch. I haven't watched them and seen them much. I've seen like little bits and pieces of them, but I want to see that line and what that line is looking like because that line has been terrible for a long time. So, and I'm sure it's not better this year.
Yeah. Yeah, they got a lot of stuff.
He can't move. He can't move like he previously moved because of that calf injury. I mean, that calf injury affects his whole game. It affects his mobility. It affects his ability to draw the ball down the field and all of that. So, I don't know, but we'll see. Washington and Philadelphia. Washington gave. I mean, you talking about snatching victory from the jaws of defeat? Like Washington beat them last year. Was the first team to beat them last year, and they should have beat them this year again.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
I think that was the best, one of the best games of the day. That overtime game.
Yeah, it was. That was one of the better games of the day. You mentioned the Buccaneers, and the Saints. That wasn't much to that. I seen that one 26-9. I didn't really pay much attention to that one. This one caught my eye. The AFC South isn't what we thought it was going to be going into the season. It was supposed to be a one of the worst divisions in all of football, and the Colts are rebuilding with a rookie quarterback. Texans are the Texans with a rookie quarterback, and Tennessee was getting old, and so that's what this division looked like. I am here to say that going forward, you throw out whatever you heard in the preseason, whatever you heard at the beginning of the season, whatever predictions they had for this division going into the season. Go ahead and throw that out. Go ahead and throw that in the garbage because it's different now. Because moving forward, CJ Stroud is a baller. He can play. They dropped the hammer on the Steelers 30-6. I was so surprised in that. And the Colts were down 23-0. Anthony Richardson brought them all the way back, took them to overtime. And if it wasn't for Puka Nacua, they might have won the game.
Yeah. Oh, man, I'm about to ask you, what's wrong with Pittsburgh? Good Lord.
Man, I don't know.
And they lost the quarterback. Pickett got hurt. But
Pickett got hurt. Yeah, I did see Pickett
got hurt. Look at it. I said I think you got to give a lot of credit for the Texans and the way they're playing. Nobody, everybody had them written off, and they ain't gonna do this. They might win 2 games. Now they
Yeah.
2-2. You
Yeah.
gotta. I mean, I think the Miko is. I think that a lot
Good
is
coach.
showing that he's a good coach,
Yeah.
and they did a great job getting Straw
Yeah.
as quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah. His first win as a player was October 1st. His first win as a player in Houston was October 1st. And his first win as a head coach in Houston was October 1st. I thought that was pretty cool. I saw that stat. It's like
Yeah.
that was pretty cool. Yeah. So but yeah, man, the Colts look good, man. That game here is going to be an interesting game when we come here. So it's gonna be an interesting game. Ravens Browns. Now, Ravens dominated Browns. They were without Deshaun Watson. Of course, I would expect them to look the way they look without Deshaun Watson. DTR Thompson Robinson is not ready for the big time just yet. And this is the stat that baffled a lot of people, because I would have thought he would have had multiple games like this, but Lamar Jackson had his first 2 passing touchdown, 2 rushing touchdown game of his career Sunday. When I saw that stat, I was like, ain't no way. I was like, I know he's at least had to have a couple games we had 2 and 2, but nah, Sunday was his first one. He looked good.
Yeah, guy, good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
here
you go. Oh yeah, gotta watch out for the Ravens, man. The Ravens looking good. Broncos Bears, the toilet bowl. 2-0-3 teams, man. And so somebody had to win. And if it wasn't for the Broncos defense and that defensive touchdown, the Broncos probably would have dropped that game and would have dropped the 0-4. I got a coworker, he's a believer in Russell. He was like, nah, man, the Russell, he's invigorated now. That done changed everything. He's gonna turn it around, and he gonna be the guy, Super Bowl, MVP type quarterback. And I was just looking at him like, you done? Because I don't believe none of that. They beat the Bears, man. That's what they beat. They beat the Bears. And Matt Eberflus, the Bears head coach, was Balky's guy. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
That was Balky's guy. Yeah,
yeah,
that was Balky's guy. He's like 6-18 or something like that. His career record right now is like 6-18 or 6-17. It's something like that. I know he's lost more than 15 games and he's won less than 10. And that was his guy.
How do you blow a 28-7 lead in the third quarter and lose the game? That's what the Bears did yesterday. They were up 28-7 with 4 minutes left in the third quarter and lost the lead and the game.
Yeah.
To a bad Broncos team.
Bad Broncos team.
Bad Broncos team, man. The Broncos, I don't see them winning more than 3 or 4 games, man.
Yeah, and that is
Sean Payton first and last season with the Broncos.
Man, you think he won and done?
He might, man. I don't know if he can handle losing, man. I'm sure he thought they were going to be better than that.
I would say this. I don't think he's one and done, but it is a possibility that Russell Wilson will not be a Bronco next year. That's a total possibility.
It might be.
That's a lot of dead money.
By week 5, he might be a backup. Payton might put him on the bench, man. Know.
That's man. So Vikings, Panthers, man. Panthers had a little hype going in. Now they 0-4. I don't know Kassan. I know he'll probably watch this, but I see you, Kassan. I feel for you. But shoot, the Vikings, I don't know what's up with the Vikings.
Man. They trying to trade the quarterback. It might be the last hurrah for Kirk Cousins. I don't know.
It's got to be. Yeah, it's got to be the last hurrah for him. I know. I saw him on that pick 6. He ran down the field. Man, when I tell you that boy tried to put Kirk in the coffin, Like, try to put him in the coffin, man. Yeah. Let's see. Bills, Dolphins.
Well, that's the old beat DJ Chark. He didn't
Oh,
do
DJ.
much.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't do nothing.
Oh, he didn't do much yesterday?
Nah, 2 catches. About a bag of chips, about 28 yards.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, he didn't do he didn't do too much. But see, Bills, Dolphins, I watched that. I wanted to watch that after the Jaguar game. I had that one circled. And I was disappointed, man. I was early, it was a nice little back and forth, but it's like the Broncos laid down after a while. I don't know if you coming out, you had like a little hangover coming off of beating the Broncos or whatever, but they look shell shocked, but yeah, I thought they would have a better showing than that. I know Buffalo's defense is good. I know they're a good team top to bottom. They're one of the best teams in the league, got one of the best rosters in the league. And the Buffalo has been good since the late 2010s, man. Like what Buffalo currently is, that foundation was laid in the late 2010s. We talking about 2016, 17, 18, 19. That foundation, what they are now, that foundation was laid then. So they've been good for a long time. It's been a minute. It's just once they get to the playoffs, they are the Bills. But yeah, I watched that and I was disappointed, man, because I was looking for that to be a back and forth affair. I was like, we talking about 30 plus points for both teams, but Dolphins seemed like they just laid down, man. Just laid down.
Man, the Dolphins, I always have concern when they play on the road and in a big rivalry games, bad weather games. I just don't never know what you're gonna get from the Dolphins when they're outside of their element. And once again, this game was hyped the whole week, and they played. They hung with Buffalo early, but man, I was looking for Hill to break one deep.
Something.
It just didn't happen.
They
got after him.
Yeah.
How can you score 70 points one week and barely can get 20 the next?
Barely. Scratch and claw to 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look like the Jaguars Sunday.
But that's what the Dolphins got to do, man. Especially in that division that they play, man. You might have to travel to Kansas City, but you never know what Dolphin team gonna show up. So
yeah. So I don't know, man.
Can't play the Broncos every week, man.
No, you can't play the Broncos every week. But that is it for the NFL. I guess we'll go into college. And I guess we go ahead and start off with it. We're gonna go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off right now, Florida fans.
Go ahead.
Let's go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off, Florida fans. Oh man, I knew Kentucky was a good team, and Florida has struggled with them the last couple of years. I think that's the third straight loss. So it's not surprising that Kentucky won, and even them in the score or whatever. But what was very surprising to me was how physical Kentucky is. I didn't realize Kentucky was so physical. And that running back was that Ray Davis? Man, that second most rushing yards against the Gators in their history. That is insane. I wonder who was number one. I should have looked that up. But man, that is I watching that game. It probably is Herschel. But watching that game, I don't know how Billy Napier. I think he survives this season. Now, too many more of those, and it's in question. But I think he's fine for this season. But if they look anything like this next year, I think he's gone. And if you talk to Gator fans, it's not a Gator fan that I've talked to who has any patience for him right now. I mean, it's a lot of Gator fans right now. They like, yo, he got to go. They want him gone now. I think that's premature, just a little bit, not much, just a little bit. But I don't know if they continue to play this way, I don't know, man. And then if Georgia blow the doors off them here,
why would you not think that's gonna happen? what chance? What chance do
yeah,
they?
I know.
What chance do the Gators have with Georgia, and they got blowed out by Kentucky? Out physical, out rushed, outplayed, out hit, outperformed.
Yeah.
You know my opinion. I think they got the wrong coach. I think the AD was in a rush at that time to go find a guy, and I think that he didn't do his. I didn't think he did a thorough enough search, and I didn't think that I think they wanted a bargain price a little bit. I have to go back to my LSU days, man. This guy reminds me so much of Curly Hallman. Curly Hallman, the people don't know, he was Brett Favre's college coach at Southern Mississippi. And they had success, on that level. They upset Florida State, and he came in with all this hype and all that. And he could never cross the bridge playing with those big boys. He was a great recruiter, but just a bad situational coach. He was bad. And Napier, to me, they talk alike, they look alike. They got that Louisiana drag, and I think they done found a second coming of Curly Hallman. I think Napier is above and beyond. First of all, he's stubborn, because there's no way by now, even if you go back to last season, he should be the offensive play caller. I mean, that's the first mistake right there. He's stubborn. He's not listening to reasonable advice. I mean, he should not be the play caller. He should have went out and either have whoever they got an offensive coordinator or go hire somebody by next year. But he should not be a play caller. And he just, I mean, technically they're not a good football team to get out physical the way they got out physical by Kentucky. They knew that. I mean, come on, man. You coming off a big win against Tennessee. You didn't play particularly well the week before against Charlotte. And, and when you look at this schedule coming up, man, they 3-2, I believe. I mean, they still got a lot more tougher games than Kentucky.
Yeah.
They got LSU. You look at that schedule, LSU, Georgia. I mean, come on, man. Ain't no Tennessee left on there. And they just basically got embarrassed. Man, let's not forget. I know Kentucky has improved in football, but Kentucky is not known for football, okay? They win
still a basketball school.
It's still a basketball school. And they bullied and knocked around Florida like they were playing Vanderbilt. And it's embarrassing. I'm looking at something right now. They got outrushed 329-69. I mean, when does that ever happen to a Florida Gator team getting outrushed that bad by Kentucky? And I think it's gonna get worse, man. I just think they got the wrong coach. I think he's okay as a recruiter, but when you don't win, and even when you have talent and you can't utilize the talent, I mean, that's just a bad formula, man, for Florida. I mean, Florida do not supposed to lose to Kentucky. Let's be real. They're not supposed to get blown out by Kentucky.
Yeah. So, I mean, and if you look at if you look up Graham Mertz and you look up his stats right now, 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns, 2 picks, but he's completing 79% of his passes. But that's the offense and the design of the offense. I think he's an excellent game manager. If you put Graham Mertz on a loaded team, like right now, I think if you put Graham Mertz on Georgia right now, Georgia are they probably a little more. They're definitely more dominant and are probably blowing teams out. They wouldn't struggle with Auburn if you put him on Georgia, because Carson Beck is I don't know. I'm gonna give him some time, but I don't know Carson Beck, so whatever. But Graham Mertz is more of a game manager than anything because like his stats from Saturday, 25 or 30, 244 yards and 2 touchdowns. That alone, I mean, that right there, that should have you in most games anyway. But I think it's Napier, man. It's Napier. I don't know. I just think it's Napier.
He's just not a good in-game manager, man. Bad play calling. They do too much. You got to play fast, up-tempo football. Even I know you got to do it in the pros, but you definitely right now you got to do it in college, and you got to take downfield shots, man. Mertz. You look at his. He's got a great completion percentage, but I mean, he throwing 4-yard passes, 10-yard. 8-yard pass. They need 12 for a first down.
Yeah,
and they are not. They're just not enough high power. They don't have either that. They got to get more speed on that Florida offense.
Yeah,
and they can take more downfield shots, get in the end zone, and they just not physical enough up front. They're getting whipped on both sides of the line, which they did on Saturday against Kentucky. It's hard to even say it. Kentucky out physical Florida.
And dude, I'm looking at this schedule to finish out the year, and then we'll be done with the Gators. This is the most Gators I ever talked on this show. And we'll be done. But looking at this schedule, dude, you got Vanderbilt and South Carolina back to back. Okay, so Vanderbilt, South Carolina, those are somewhat winnable games. Spencer Rattler, though, gonna be dropping dimes on their head as far as South Carolina. So that's not in the bag. But then you got Georgia, Arkansas, LSU, Missouri, who's undefeated, and Florida State.
He can't win that schedule.
They might not be bowl eligible. Looking at this schedule,
they might have two wins for the rest of the way.
Yeah, I'm searching for 3 more wins, and I don't see them.
And they play at Missouri. It's going to be cold. They play in November on the road, and historically they don't play well on the road at Missouri. And they play at LSU, and they could beat Arkansas. I don't even know if they can do that. Coming off
I don't know if they can do that either.
Yeah, a week after Georgia. Georgia might score 50, man. Then let alone what Florida State may do.
Yeah, and Carson Beck's numbers are good. You look at his numbers, he got 1,400 passing yards, 7 tugs, only 2 picks, 72% completion. So he's playing decent football. He's not the problem, but from time to time, man, I don't know. And I don't know if it's just him because I haven't watched Georgia enough, but that offense just seemed to be like stagnant, like they stuck in mud, and then it takes something to kind of get them going.
He's not ready.
Throw the ball to Brock Bowers.
Napier is not ready for the SEC. He's not. Looking at that schedule, I don't know if they can beat South Carolina. They might could beat Vanderbilt. I don't know if they can beat South Carolina on the road. On the road, and then Georgia, Arkansas, LSU, Missouri, and Florida State. That's why the Florida fans are nervous, man, because they may not. If they lose to Vanderbilt, it'll definitely be all over. If they lose to Vandy at home.
Oh yeah, it'll be over. Yeah. And speaking of our other Florida teams, I know Florida State, they looking like a playoff team right now.
Yes, sir.
If they can stay healthy, we looking at Florida State possibly in the playoff. Let's see what they finish the schedule. So they got Virginia Tech, Syracuse, Duke. Ooh, that's going to be a good game. Wake Forest, Pitt, Miami, North Alabama, and Florida. I like this schedule. Miami's going to be a tough one because Miami, that's the other one. Miami's undefeated. Van Dyke is good. Van Dyke is good. I like Van Dyke. But the rest of the schedule, though, man, I'm looking at, you could beat Virginia Tech. Syracuse. You could beat Duke, but Duke, that's gonna be a tough game. Duke is not a road. You can't push them over. Wake Forest, Pitt, you beat them. The Miami game is a toss-up right now. North Alabama, cupcake, and then Florida. We ain't gonna call them a cupcake. We're calling them a Debbie cake.
Yeah. I think Florida State on their way for the playoff bowl game. I think they got a good. I think they realize each week. I mean, just to get past Clemson, get that onus off, finally beat the top dog of the ACC on the road. You know, they got some minor issues. You know, I just think, hey man, get the ball to your playmakers, which they have done, and don't get upset. Don't have don't look ahead. Don't let a team sneak up on you, man. But I think
I think they're on their way. Hey, and then we haven't forgotten Old Nation. Y'all wanted Norvell's head. Nobody's forgotten. Nobody is forgotten.
It's amazing. I guess patience is a virtue, huh?
Patience is a virtue. Yes, it is. So, but we're gonna wrap it up right there. I can't forget Colorado and USC. I watched it to about halftime when they were getting doors blown off them, and then I check in on the score every now and then. I say, okay, they scored a touchdown. Okay, they scored another touchdown. Okay, all right. Like, oh man, they making this a game. And Caleb Williams, he threw 6 touchdown passes. And man, if Colorado doesn't make mistakes they made early in the game, that probably would have been a tie game, and they probably would have been going to overtime. But Shedeur Sanders turned it on, and that lets me know that they had a hangover from the Colorado State game against Oregon, because I don't think Oregon is that much better than Colorado. Like, because USC, even with USC, like I don't think Oregon is a good team. And I think they, one of the best teams in the country, but I don't think they were that much better than Colorado, just like USC. Now, USC's defense is highly suspect. I didn't know they were that suspect. I knew they weren't great because I don't ever remember a Lincoln Riley team ever stopping anybody. And it looked like he brought that trend with him to USC. He could score 50, but he may give up 51. I mean, that's just what it is. But watching Colorado, dude, all they need is linemen, man. Linemen. Dion getting his hands on some linemen. It's looking good, man. It's looking good.
That's gonna be top priority. Looking at their schedule, they should beat Arizona State. That's who they play Saturday. And then they play Stanford. They should beat them. I don't know about that. I don't know what kind of team UCLA is. They one of them ones like they show up one week, they look great. The next week they don't look great. So, and they got them on the road.
Wow. Jamal Adams hurt again? Oh, man. It might be time for him to hang it up, man.
I thought he just came back.
He did. I'm looking at the ESPN app. Jamal Adams make big tackle and return from injury. That was 24 minutes ago. 9 minutes ago, Jamal Adams frustrated for exiting because of injury. Like, he hurt already, and he said he was contemplating retirement because of the injuries. I feel for him, man, because I think he's a good player. That's unfortunate, man.
Yeah, that is. Can't catch a break.
Yeah. But it is what it is, man. So 7-0. Your Seahawks are up. So but yeah. So now we're gonna put a pin in that, and we are gonna go to a little bit of NBA before we get on up out of here. And LeBron says Anthony Davis is the face of the Lakers. Are you buying that, Mr. Reed?
No, man, I ain't buying. I don't even know if he want to be the face of the franchise. I say this though. I saw I think ESPN or the team put out a video showing that AD was working on weights and got an afro now and rededicated himself to the feast. I just want to see how long that lasts. But I don't know if he wants to be embraced as the guy, as the man on the Lakers team.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if he's ready for that, man.
I
I
don't
don't
believe
think.
in AD. I don't believe in AD.
Look,
I
hey,
think
Messi.
AD. I think
Hey, LeBron
AD
said what?
went to California, and I think he enjoyed the beaches more than he enjoyed the ball. I think he done lost some of his age, man.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know about that one, man. But we'll see. The Lakers are optimistic. Austin Reeves said they got one of the best rosters in all of basketball. I believe him, but it's not always about who has the best collection of talent. Because if that was the case, then Denver doesn't win next year. I mean, win last year the way they did. I mean, there were better collections of talents than Denver, but Denver was the best team, no question about it. Yeah. So they just got to put it all together.
Yep, stay consistent and avoid of all things injuries. That's the biggest problem with AD. Hell, we don't know if he's gonna play 60 games, 40 games. He ain't gonna play all 82 because I don't think he ever did it in his career. So I won't even start thinking about AD till February to see if he's not hurt after the All-Star break, and then we might think, it might be his team. But man, for now, we gotta see can he be durable enough to play the first 50 games, which he hadn't shown.
Yeah.
Come on, man. I like the Lakers. I like their roster, but I don't think they got one of the better rosters in the West. And they got a good team, but I don't know if they. So, but it's good. The NBA is back. Everybody get to training camp. The Clippers got training camp in Hawaii and didn't win a championship. How do you have training camp in Hawaii and didn't win a championship? I don't see Denver having training camp in Hawaii for a week.
Yeah, no. Shoot, Denver. Hey, I saw a video of Jokic coming back to the arena. Coming back, and when I tell you he don't look like he wanted to be,
he looked angry, didn't he?
They say he looked angry. He back in Denver. I saw that. I was like, yeah, he do. He does not look like he wanted to be back in Denver. He seems like basketball is interrupting his life. That's how he looking.
Yeah,
he because I think he's Serbian. So he got ready. He got ready for training camp for basketball. He got his stuff ready. He packed his stuff up. He kissed his horses, kissed his granny, and they say, "Oh, where you going, Joker?" She's like, "Oh, I got a basketball thing. I'll see y'all in a little bit," and walked out the door. Yeah, that's how Jokic looked, man.
Yeah, he didn't look too happy there, didn't he? Walking in the arena.
No, they didn't. No, I found it. Hold on, let's see, so y'all can see what we talking about. Let me see. Here we go.
The Denver Nuggets.
There we go. But yeah, he don't look like he want to be there. Man, this is moving like molasses. There you go. Look at his face.
Yeah, man, I gotta come back here.
Hey, ain't he looking like he going school clothes shopping? And he wanted blue jeans, and his mama told him you getting slacks.
Hello.
He's like, okay, I'm back. That's what he looking like.
Yeah,
man, I love that. I love that, man.
6 months in, Denver.
The purists don't like it. Yeah. The purists don't like it because they like it's whatever. But what do you think about this new rule? We're gonna get on up out of here. And Damian Lillard and this new rule about not resting NBA players.
Well, Damian Lillard, man, it's gonna be hard. I say this. The first thing I say about that trade, boy, it's gonna be crazy seeing Damian Lillard wear green and not that Portland red and black.
It is.
That's gonna look crazy,
strange.
man. But I kind of figured that it was gonna be a long shot for him to get to Miami. But I thought Milwaukee didn't give up a whole lot, but they're going to be a good, exciting team to watch, man. I think that combo is going to be pretty good. I mean,
yeah.
And he's accepted the trade. He's been taking shots in the gym there in Milwaukee, so he look like he's ready to go.
Yeah. But, and now Milwaukee's like, all right, Giannis, let's go. Sign on the dotted line. What you waiting on?
Yeah, Giannis. He might have to wait a little bit to see how that all develops out, man. Coaching gonna be the key. They got the right coaching in place to get these guys where they need to get at. Because I tell you what, like we talked before the show, Milwaukee gonna have to work, man. Because Boston gonna be tough with that Drew Holiday trade. They improved themselves, and they didn't break up the top two.
Yeah.
With Jaylen Brown, I thought for sure one of them would be gone, but Jaylen is back with that mega contract. I just, the thing is, my questions I got two questions. I don't know what we're gonna see in Philadelphia.
Harden.
I love Memphis. I just with the jaw and all that. I don't know, man. It just that troubles me. I think they're a great young team. And they're going through distractions and I like what they got. And that's pretty much, we all know about James Harden's situation. So we'll see how long he holds out or get traded to Salt Lake City.
Yeah. Hey, he need to be playing for the Beijing Dragons. That's what he need to be.
But he's selling his CBL. Yeah, well, he keep on holding out. That might be the next result for him. I just don't think he's a hot commodity no more in the league, man. I just think that he's got too many side issues. I think baggage. I think once he get on the team, there's all type of problems. It was with the Philadelphia that he want to do this. He want to be above the team. And unless it's a desperate team out there that think he's the piece they need to push him over the top, man, I think it's going to be hard for him to find a team that willingly take him in the contract. And it's going to be hard for a team through a trade to pay him max type money. So it might be a long holdout. But we ain't going to miss
if any team is feeling like James Harden, they missing piece to push them over the edge, I hope somebody with sense is talking them out of it.
And another thing, man, my old team I used to cover, I heard they had their press conference and my man has come back. We'll see how long that lasts. You know what I'm talking about.
Who you talking about? You talking about Zion?
Zion.
Hey, after dealing with his
is the most serious. This is what their GM, the president of basketball operations said.
Don't tell me
this is the most serious that I've seen him for an off season since he's been in the league. I say, well, man, that's an indictment. That's not a praise.
That's not praise.
Yeah, that's an indictment.
Yeah,
so he had to figure out 3-4 years. Hey, you supposed to stay in shape during the season to get ready for the season.
Who it was I forgot who it was. It was somebody a few years ago. They was like, after he got paid, now he was a hard worker after he got paid. That's not this. You supposed to work hard before he got paid. Why y'all paid him? Like, come on, man. Marcus, what's going on, man? But yeah, And so,
I am not a
yeah,
fan of Zion. I am not a fan. He is in shape. We'll see how that go. But I just think he's got the wrong perspective about a lot of things right now. He's young. I hope he get matured, but
yeah.
and I don't
And
think New Orleans is where he's gonna be at either.
yeah. So Kawhi Leonard had a lot to say about this new rule. Basically saying that he say,
Oh man,
um, yeah, he said I'm not a guy that's sitting down because I'm doing load management. Well, when I was with the Raptors, it was different. Like I was coming off an injury, and you have to know the details from the doctors. But if the league is seeing or trying to mock what I did with the Raptors, they should stop because I was injured during that whole year. But other than that, if I'm able to play, I'll play basketball. I work out every day in the summertime to play the game. So no league policy is helping me to play more games. He said,
but how
he
many
said it's a
games you
matter
played
of that's a good question. I
I
wonder
mean,
how
that's
many games he played
what
last
we
year.
talking about. We ain't talking about San Antonio and the Raptors. Hell, he was injured all last year.
Yeah. He said you're either going to get hurt or you're going to be lucky enough to play games throughout the playoffs or the whole regular season. I'm not trying to get a certain amount of games. I'm trying to play the games I can play. If I'm hurt, I can't play basketball. The last 2 years, unfortunately, I got hurt, tore my ACL, then at the end of the year, tore my meniscus. It's basketball. I'm a two-way player. I play hard, so injuries are going to come. I'm not out there just walking around. I play both ends of the floor. I see the best players on both ends every night. Either I'm guarding the best player or the best player is guarding me. If an injury comes, that's what happens. So, I mean, I get what Kawhi is saying, but Kawhi, this isn't just about you.
Yeah.
This is bigger than you. This is about the game as a whole. Now,
Yeah.
you are a isolated part of it. I think that I understand why he feels like he's the face of it because he understands. He sees it. He sees how people talking about him. He heard Stephen A. Smith yelling about him missing games. I mean, he's seen those things, so hit dogs holler. I mean, it is what it is, Kawhi. But you're right. This is not helping you to play more games. This is about money. Don't ever mistake it being about anything other than money. It ain't about player safety, it ain't about none of that stuff. This is about money. This is about TV contracts. This is about we got the Clippers on tonight on ESPN playing against the Celtics. And oh look, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard are load managing. No, they don't want that. That's what this is about.
Yeah, on TNT and Charles Barkley and them talking about them.
Yeah.
But that's what this league is. I'm not a big fan of this tournament either. I think that's a money-driven money maker.
The play-in?
The play-in. No, the back to mid, they got a new tournament coming in, mid-season tournament.
Oh, yeah, I want to see how this play out.
But Las Vegas. I just think that's something. I just think that's kind of overkill, man. I'll be honest with you, man. I know some people that love the hoop disagree. I would not have any problem if basketball season started on Christmas Day. I wouldn't. I think I feel the season too long for one, and I think they could draw a lot more interest from December through June if the season started in December than rather starting in October. But Mr. Silver needs money. They didn't have the best ratings of the NBA Finals this past year, and they're trying to come up with gimmicks to try to get interest. And I guess that's one of the things what you said. I mean, hey, when you turn on the knob and TNT on and the announcer say that Kawhi is in load management, I mean, that's a problem. And it's been a problem. Hell, he was doing that in San Antonio. And he ain't the only one. But the season is too. Maybe they should think that the season is too long. You start in December, you have less wear and tear on the body, and may not need as many players that go on load management. But they don't. Their players' association will never agree to a shortened season if it's not 82 games, man. And if they start 82 game season in December, they'll be playing in August. like they did during the COVID year. So these leagues got problems. But I want to see the stars. I want to see the stars. I want to see them like give maximum effort. You know, I don't want to see a game in the playoffs like James Harden, and he took 20 shots the night before. 2 nights later, he put up 5. I mean, that's that's the kind of stuff that they should be concerned about. But I like Minnesota, man. I think that young team. I think they're a team to watch.
Yeah, I think so too. I want to see if Sacramento takes another step. I like watching them.
Yeah. I think they might move ahead of Golden State, man.
Yeah, because let's face it, injury. I mean, Golden State got lucky, man. Yeah, they got lucky. So, and then I look for Denver to be dominant once again. I don't see why they won't be dominant once again. I mean, if they're healthy, they may.
Well, we got a good coach.
Yep. But man, it is
what it is. For Zion, I'm telling y'all, let's see, can he play 20 games without getting hurt?
Yeah, he's as serious as he's ever been. Okay, all right. Well, we shall see.
Yeah, we'll see that.
Man, but we're going to leave it right there. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for making me a part of your morning, evening, night, whenever you're watching this. I appreciate that. Hit that like button, hit the share button, give me a comment. You know, it's all free, people. I appreciate it. Follow Mr. Reed on Twitter. Follow me on all of my social medias, man. And we will be back with more live streams, man. But until next time, I'll talk to you guys later, man.
Peace out.
Peace out, y'all.